All right. Now we're going to talk about some acquisitions. I really like this topic. What can I say? We're going to jump right in. This is a re-recording. When I did this one live, for whatever reason, it wouldn't let me record it. That's never happened before, but we don't always get it right the first time, but we always make it right. So let's get into it. So now we're going to talk about how do you set yourself up for success in acquisitions and building closable deals from day one. Let's jump into it. So everything starts, I cannot stress this enough. Everything starts in acquisitions. Now, when you look at the 5 departments, right, you got lead generation. They're the ones, obviously, that's your marketing department. They're the ones generating the leads. Cool. Then you have your lead nurture department, right? Those are your lead managers. Those are the ones who are doing follow-up. They're the ones who are also giving lead quality feedback to the marketing team. Okay, fine. But then you have your lead conversion department. This is your acquisitions team. And then beyond acquisitions, you have lead exit, which is dispo, and then you have lead delivery, which is TC. So acquisitions is right in the middle. So you would think, okay, maybe it doesn't start with acquisitions. Oh, no. It does start with acquisitions because acquisitions is getting the seller contracts. They're getting the A to Bs. You do, oh man, listen, if you don't hear nothing else I say, listen to this. You as a company, as a wholesale real estate company, do not even have an opportunity to make money without getting that contract signed. You just point blank period. You don't. That's what I mean when I say it all starts in acquisitions. Now you have a product, right? Which again is the what's it called? Now I can't remember. It's the contract itself, but equitable interest. My word. Anyway, so you get the equitable interest in the property. That's your product. That's what you're selling, right? The point of acquisitions, as you guys can see here, is to get closable deals. It's not just to get a contract, it's to get closable deals. How do we do that? Maybe it's you in acquisitions. Maybe you have somebody sitting in the seat. But again, you need to be, if you're the leader of the company or if you're the acquisition, whoever, leading yourself, leading a team, you need to be very, 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 I don't have the right word for it, but very focused on what I'm saying here, what that means, right? I know I'm butchering that, but it's getting contracts is not enough. You need to make sure you get closable contracts. I'll explain what I mean by that. But acquisitions is going to set up an easier dispo process. They're going to set up, if you need to renegotiate, they're going to be able to set up the renegotiations a lot better and give you smoother closings. Let's keep it moving. When we talk about price anchoring, this is one of my favorite things to discuss because for whatever reason, it's not talked about a lot. And I guess in our industry or whatever, I know there's a lot of people like sales coaches and everything. They might mention it, but they don't focus on it. They don't drill down on what it means to price anchor. I price anchor at the beginning, towards the beginning of the sales process, very, very early on. I'm probably maybe 10 minutes into it when I price anchor, right? And keep in mind, this is probably about maybe a 45-minute to an hour call. So it's relatively early on, but it gives a reference point outside of Zillow. A seller might look at Zillow, Google a house or whatever, right? And say, okay, Zillow says my house is worth $250,000 or $225,000, $300,000, whatever, right? If you can price anchor where you're saying, hey, I'm seeing houses in this area go for closer to $100,000. What do you think that's going to do to the seller's expectations on what they can sell the house for? Now, again, we're building trust throughout the call. You need to become an authority. That you need to be the one that they trust when they say that, right? But when you do it right, it sets you up for when you deliver your price. Again, whether this is you in acquisitions or maybe you have somebody in that seat, if you're giving a number in the hundreds and in their mind, Zillow's telling them it's worth $250,000, your offer cannot be the first time they hear a number in the hundreds. You're losing. It can't be the first time they hear that. You need to drop that price anchor so you have something to reference back to. Hey, remember what I told you? Houses in this area are selling for anywhere between $100,000 to maybe $110,000 cash. Well, maybe I can offer you $125,000. You see what I'm saying? Okay, cool. There's a whole thing for that. I covered so much more of that in the sales training. There's a lot to be said about that. But Yeah, I like that talk track of most investors in this area are buying anywhere between 100 to 110, or I'm seeing a lot of houses go in this area for cash at this price, whatever. That's how you drop the price anchor. Again, a lot to cover with that. I'm not going to go into it with this presentation here. We use our three offer strategy, and whatever. I almost went into it again. Again, I'm working with limited time here. I'll keep it simple. Three offers. We never present every offer all at once, right? It's information overload. It's not going to work. A confused seller doesn't. A confused buyer doesn't buy, but in this case, a confused seller doesn't sell, right? We give each offer independently, and we negotiate each offer separately. And again, I know I say this a lot, this only works when you build trust. And you don't build trust once and think you're done, right? You build trust throughout the entire call. Your offer is at the end of the call. So we're going to be building trust throughout this whole thing. So when we do present the offer, they trust us. So our first offer is always our cash offer, right? And what I mean by cash offer, this is our direct purchase offer. This is the number we will actually buy your home at. Like we will pull the money from the account and we will close on this property. You should not expect people to say yes to this offer. We have had people say yes to this offer, and that's a good day. But you should not expect people to say yes to this offer. It's almost insulting. It is extremely low. We don't really use MAO, but if we were referencing MAO, this would be like 40 or 50% of your MAO. If your MAO was 120,000, my direct purchase offer would be 60,000, right? Does it get accepted? Yeah, maybe. I mean, we've been in business now over 6 years, and it's probably gotten accepted twice. So happens, but who knows? That's though is where you get those $100,000 deals, and those are nice. Anything over 75,000 for us, that's a good day. But it's so low. It's damn near a sight unseen offer. Almost, it's damn near like I can just put this on a Facebook group or put this on Investor Lift or blast this on. I know with I'm going to be able to move this deal. Like Zestmas 250, I got it for 60 grand. Oh man, there's no way. So this is giving them that certainty, right? That's the trade-off. Why would they accept an offer that low? Because we're giving them certainty. So I think this was the second time we ever got it accepted. Maybe we got it accepted 3 times, but I know the second time we ever got it accepted, this guy, he was getting foreclosed on. He needed to close in 5 days. Like, there was no way. And again, we're not taking advantage of his situation. It's, hey, you need to close. If you don't want to, like, we might be able to push off the foreclosure. Maybe we'll see. I can't guarantee if we can do that, but I can guarantee that we can close at this price. And guess what? We closed at that price. Made it very easy, simple stuff. Like, I mean, again, he was extremely happy with us, extremely elated. He almost lost the house. But yeah, that's the number. We will buy this at that number ourselves, right? Now, I told you already, we're going to negotiate each offer separately. When it comes to negotiating, and this is upfront, this isn't a renegotiation. When it comes to negotiating upfront, the golden rule is, you guys might know the book, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. The idea behind it is you never give something for nothing. Never give something for nothing, right? It happens on every transaction almost without you thinking about it, right? Or without you maybe even realizing it, maybe the seller not realizing it. But we're giving you certainty for the price. Like for like, again, we're buying it at 60,000 to give you certainty, right? If he said, hey, I'm not going to be able to make that work, I'm like, I can't sell it for less than 80,000 or something, let's just say, guess what? We're not just going to give him 80,000. That's still an unbelievable deal, but we're not just going to give him $20,000 for nothing, right? We might get to rubbernecking. Oh man, $20,000 more. I tell you what, we'll do $20,000 more, but you're gonna have to be moved out before we close, or we'll give you that, but you're gonna have to pay the closing cost, or whatever. Whatever it is, you don't give something for nothing, right? Because if the seller feels like they can just keep saying no to your offer, they feel like you're almost training them to think that they're gonna get something out of it. Here we go. But that's the golden rule of negotiating. Never split the difference. So again, we expect them to say no. that first offer. No, oh, Brandon, I can't sell my house for 6. That's less than what I bought it for. Hey, no, listen, I understand. I just told you what I was approved to give you for the house. Listen, if I was able to get you closer to what you were looking for, do you care who gives you the money? 8 times out of 10, they're gonna say, "What do you mean?" 2 times out of 10, they're gonna. I'm sorry, 8 times out of 10, they're gonna say no. 2 times out of 10, they're gonna say, "What do you mean?" But nobody ever says, "Yeah, I care." No, no, you're getting them closer to the number. Again, something. We're not giving them something for nothing, right? I can maybe get you close to what you're asking for, but it might not be me giving you the money. It might not be all cash. Maybe now I have to get OPM, other people's money, or maybe I have to get a lender. Maybe I have to whatever, right? Use the Acumen method on this. For anybody who's not familiar with Acumen, that is, you can do so many different ways. I mean, some people do, I think it's 80, 90, 100, I want to say, and that's percentage off of MAO. So again, if your MAO is 100,000, you start with 80. Nah, I can't do 80. Then you go up to 90, 90,000, can't do 90. Okay, hey, absolute most I can do is 100,000. That's the Acumen method. Maybe they say yes to your 90%. We love it. But you are the one who is controlling the negotiation. Again, golden rule. We don't give something for nothing. Doesn't work like that. We maintain, again, at this price, sorry, not this price, at this step right here, the second offer, we're still giving the seller confidence that we can close. We don't give them certainty because, again, this isn't our certain offer anymore. Our certainty offer was 60,000. You want closer to 100,000. I'm still very confident, Mr. Seller, that we can close this for you, but it's not the same guarantee, right? Again, we're not giving something. Not giving something for nothing. If they still say, "Nah, Brand, I can't do 100,000. I got to be at least at 120 minimum." Okay, look, I might be able to get you that 120. Might be able to get you that 120. Again, I'm very confident I can get you that 120, but I'm going to need a little bit more time and a little bit more access. Is that something that you're opposed to? 8 times out of 10, what do you think they say? Is that something that you're opposed to? If it meant getting them closer to their number, most times they're going to say no. But again, we are trading that certainty for potentially more money. I said might. Hey, look, if you really need 120,000, I might have a strategy that will get you that. Let me see what I can do if you give me more time and more access. Deal? Deal. But those are those 3 steps, right? We start with our cash offer, then we move over to our wholesale offer, then we move over to our novation offer. And we're negotiating each one every step of the way. Why does this matter, Brandon? I'm glad you asked, person watching this recording, because you're going to get less pushback from these sellers. Again, why? Because we built trust and we're giving them options. Now, when it says less pushback, you can also look at it too from whenever, let's say you're doing the novation, and let's say you're on the 7th showing. Oh man, I don't want to do another like showing. You already scheduled 6 others. I don't want to do another one. Whoa, hold on. I was ready to give you my guarantee offer where I don't even need to see the property. You didn't want that. You wanted more money. I'm giving you $60,000 over what I initially offered you. I think you can deal with more showings. Yes. You're going to get less pushback, believe me. Again, with the higher offers, you're giving less certainty. Again, we're building trust. We are being very clear with that. We never guarantee our novation offers. It doesn't make sense to, right? Because think about it like this. Will a realtor ever guarantee that they can sell their house for the absolute top dollar most that it can ever get? Most might say they can, but they shouldn't be guaranteeing that. Why should they not be guaranteeing that? Because the realtor is not the one giving you the money. They're not giving the money. And I've actually won deals over realtors by that very line alone. Hold on. Mr. Seller, with respect, who's giving you the money? Like me or the realtor? Is the realtor giving you the money? No, they're not. Okay, cool. So because I'm giving you the money, I think I have more control over this deal closing. Would you agree? Yes, I would agree. Cool. But again, people are conditioned to believe realtors might be able to give them more money, but it's not necessarily guaranteed. If that realtor, if they go 6 months on market and the house doesn't sell, do you think they're going after the realtor? Well, they might be upset with the realtor, but they're not going to expect the realtor to buy the house when it's all said and done, right? Investors offer certainty that realtors cannot, right? Now, let's talk about renegotiations. So again, not necessarily the golden rule at this stage. This is after you've already gotten the property under contract. Maybe you've seen it. Oh no, it's not how they described it. It's a lot worse. Like, this does not look good. This is not, this is not a good looking house. We've been in some houses where there's no way you did not describe it as this. Like, there's a hole in the roof. What are we talking about? So we'll set up our renegotiations. At this point, we haven't actually dropped the hammer yet. We'll set it up. We just got, hey, listen, we just got the photos back. It's looking a little rough. This isn't what you described. This is what I'm seeing. There's a hole in the roof. The flooring isn't cohesive throughout the house. It's gonna need some touch-up paint. I mean, under the sink, it looks like that's cast iron. I mean, do you have any PVC in the house? You told me you didn't know what PVC stands for. Okay, you don't have any. Whatever it is. But most common issue is going to be the property condition. We're going to use that just to set it up. Why are we setting it up and not dropping the hammer? Because we don't know what we need to be at yet. I don't like you. You shouldn't need to renegotiate more than one time. If you do it right, you really shouldn't. I'm just going to set the expectation. Hey, I might need to come down on price, but I just don't know what that price is yet. Make sense? Makes sense, right? And again, if we had built trust in the beginning of in the first go around, again, now we have it on the contract, it sets up the renegotiation a lot easier. All right, now let's say we start marketing the property. We have some buyer feedback now. We're going to use that buyer feedback as leverage. Hey, this is what people are saying, right? Maybe you said it's an innovation, you're doing walkthroughs again, or maybe you did the wholesale offer step 2, and they know that you're not the one buying it. It just again, this is what I mean by it sets up these renegotiations so much better, because you can say, hey, people aren't liking your house. Hey, like, there's things people are saying that I didn't think about, and it's affecting who wants to buy it. Like, hey, there's only investors interested in the house, not retail buyers. It just sets it up so much better, right? Again, we're talking about how do you set yourself up for success in acquisitions. It starts every single time you open your mouth, you're setting yourself up. Are you setting yourself up for failure, or are you setting yourself up for success? That depends on you. Follow the training, right? But we're going to give clear reasoning. It's probably in the next slide here, but how do I say this? Because it's going to sound contradictory. You want to give logical arguments in an emotional conversation, if that makes sense. Because again, people make decisions emotionally, they back it up logically, right? If your renegotiation is all logic and you didn't make it emotional for them, you're gonna lose. I guarantee you're gonna lose, right? Because they're not worried about the feedback per se. They're worried about, are you going to close? What does that mean for me? What's going to happen if nobody buys this house? There's a million questions going through their mind, not, hey, your house sucks. Like, you know, like put yourself in the mind of the seller. Like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? You only want to renegotiate once. Let me see if I do have it on another slide here. Maybe not. Yeah, I do right here. Price drop felt logical, not emotional. Again, we want to make sure that you are keeping it emotional. How do you do that? You bring back up their reason for selling, right? Maybe the reason for selling is they're older sellers where they're self-managing a rental property themselves that they never intended to get. So they're accidental landlords, and the tenants are being a nuisance, tearing up their house. Maybe it's the house they inherited and grew up in, but they're tearing up their childhood home and they're not paying rent, right? If I just go into that renegotiation call with, hey man, no, they did a doozy on this house. Like, nobody wants it. This house sucks. I'm sorry. Like, but we can still get this done at 110,000 when I initially offered like 140. What are we doing? No, you got to make it emotional. Hey, listen, I understand that this has been a headache. I mean, listen, I can see why this has been causing you so much stress. Remind me again, how long have you been dealing with these tenants? That long, really? Oh, geez. Listen, I would completely understand if you don't even want to deal with them another day, right? Okay, cool. Now, listen, I did get some unwelcome news, kind of just some feedback that some of these guys are giving me. I'm not surprised by it because of what the tenants have been doing to the house. Again, I really want to get you out of that situation, but it's going to make me have to put you at 110,000 or whatever it is, right? You make it emotional. Again, you're using logic, and they understand. They understand. They know the tenants are tearing up the house. Keep it emotional, right? Why this works. Seller understands the pricing structure. Again, hey, I tried getting you more, but your house wasn't retail ready. It wasn't in market condition. You had bad tenants in there. Only investors are going to be able to purchase this house because it's not going to pass inspection. No retail person is going to be able to get approved for a loan to buy this house, unfortunately. And we already built trust. They understand how we work. They know that we're not the buyers, right? And then again, we kept it emotional, right? This is a fun one. So these are just a handful of some of the price drops that we've gotten. You can see Houghton Avenue here. We initially locked up at 156, 350. I made the mistake of having to get 2 price drops. I dropped it down the first time. I mean, if y'all just look, that's a 45K price drop on that initial. I mean, stop. Trust was built. Let me just say that. That's a 45K price drop, but guess what? I didn't have a price yet. Right? I dropped it down to 111. Highest offer we got was 110. I had to do another price drop at 100. Fortunately, like I said, trust was built. I kept it emotional. We were able to get it done. $10,000 fee. Millimore. That one was actually pretty wild, believe it or not. So we initially got under contract at 190. We weren't getting. I mean, the house was in way, way, way worse condition than you would have thought. Like it was. You stop it. That was not as it was described by any means. We got a price drop down to 154. We marketed it again, and somebody called us like, "Hey, do you still have that house available off Millimore?" Yeah, we do. Yeah, I saw it was for 190. Man, can you guys still take that price? No. Oh no, I cannot take that price. I mean, we were gonna blast it out again at 200. Oh man, listen, I can't do 200. Well, what can you do? I'll do 192. Oh, 192. Okay, we'll do it. $38,000 deal right there. That was a very happy accident. Lakeview. Yeah. Okay, Lakeview. So they had tenants in the house. We got it at 161, 425. The tenants were expected to leave that March. They did not leave. They did not leave even a little bit. They actually started causing problems, started tearing up the house. It turned into a whole situation. The seller was scared of these guys. Not necessarily. She was scared to confront them, I should say. Because they were family friends. She didn't want to evict them, and it was a whole mess. So we said, okay, hey, listen, we'll buy the house. Again, we set it up well. We gave them the cash offer. Hey, remember my direct purchase option? I can still buy the house and I'll evict the tenants. Okay. Got it down to 118. Look at that price drop. I mean, do the math. What is that? Is that 43? Nah, that's 53. That's a 53K price drop. Or maybe my math is off. I think it is 43. 43K price drop. Regardless, whatever it is, big price drop. Trust was built. We came down to our original price. We started the eviction process. And fortunately, we didn't have to follow through with it because at that point, the tenants did move out. The tenants moved out. We were able to get in there, assign it quickly, $23,000 deal. We were prepared to close at 118. We didn't, ourselves, close at 118 and then deal with the tenants. It ended up working out regardless. Dowron, I think we were just off on numbers on Dowron. I think we were just off. I don't think there was a crazy situation with Dowron. If I remember right. Yeah, who knows? But got the price drop, assigned it, made 8,300 on that. Again, could we have gotten any of these if trust wasn't built, if we didn't keep it emotional, and if we didn't set up the call well? Absolutely not. Right? Going through those 3 offers made all the difference. And again, building the trust throughout the call made all the difference. Keeping it very emotional made the difference. That's the only way we were able to get it done. And again, it paid off. These are all fees we would not have gotten if we didn't do our job in acquisitions. $10,000, $38,000, that's 48 plus 23, that's 61. No, it's not. That's 71 plus 83. That's about, call it 80,000. $80,000 in assignment fees just because we're doing our job well in acquisitions. So That's it. That's all I got for you guys. As you can read, you guys can read faster than I can talk. I appreciate you for watching what's now the recording. Thank you for your attention, and I hope that this helped.